Hi guys, this is the first Art Explained I've done in quite a while. While I was still living with my parents after moving, it just wasn't the place or time to put into a video like this, so I was only doing sketch videos. But here it is, the beginning of a new year. I'm in my own apartment. I can actually spread out my art supplies now and really see what I have. And I really got into the idea of getting some watercolor markers the other day. I'm not exactly sure why. Something maybe about a gift card. So then I got into this research mode and I really wanted to find the pair that I would like. So what I ended up doing is I went to Michael's instead. Some of you know I used to work at Michael's craft store, you know, during high school and everything. So that's where I really started my love affair with art supplies. So of course I would go there first, and you know, they're always having coupons, so never go to Michael's without having checked their website either on your phone or at home and getting a coupon, and then going and joining the group that they have there too. They email you the coupons. So yeah, always do that when you're going to be buying something, because you don't want to buy stuff full price. There's no reason to do that. You can always find something on sale. And this sale was partly sale and partly because they had messed up. So what I got were these. It's a marker set. Let's see, there's Artist Loft, which is sort of like their brand, their off-brand of sorts. I'm not exactly sure who fulfills them, but it's only sold there. Anyway, you see it around the store. Anyway, so this is a 24 color set. A lot of colors and some pretty good ones. The brights are over here, obviously, and the more muted over there. And they're double tipped, so they have, I'll show you, let's see what color would show up better. Maybe yellow. So there's the brush tip here, which you can kind of see here. And then there's the fine tip. So each color has the two tips on it, and yeah, so this set, when I went to buy it, said $17.99. I thought, 50% off, because that's the coupon I had, and they weren't on sale, so I could do that. It's like, that's a really good price compared to what I was seeing online, which would have been at least $17.99 up to $30 for 12. And I was like, this is 24, this is great. So I went up to buy, gave everything, and then she told me at the end that it was $16.59. I was like, that was with the coupon? Turns out they had been put in the wrong spot several places around the shop. So this set, 24 set, is actually $29.99. So this is a $30 set. But they repriced it for me at $17.99 and then took my 50% off. I ended up paying $9.99 or something plus tax. So this was a very good deal, and I'm very happy about them. So you saw me use them in one of my recent videos with Carrie Fisher here after her passing. I did a tribute, and so that's what I used, is these markers. And I'm going to show you a little bit of how to use them and what my thoughts are on them, because I've used lots of things, of course, just straight watercolors to watercolor pencils to liquid watercolors to whatever, because watercolor is just my thing. So also excuse the voice, I'm battling a little bit of a sickness having got from my nephews when they were here, so pushing through it today with lots of tea and soup. So I'll show you this, and also do a little bit of calligraphy, because I was also looking into other pens for calligraphy, like marker pens. And of course they can get really expensive, and then I was watching other videos, and basically people were saying that from basic bold line Crayola markers, they're getting almost the same results. So I thought, you know, for a couple bucks, I'm definitely going to start with this versus going for the crazy expensive ones. So I'll do a little bit of lettering on top of what I'm doing with the watercolor pens, so you can kind of get some ideas. This would be really good for making cards or bookmarks or quick things as gifts, because watercolor can be so free like that. But also for detail work and portraits, you get really vibrant colors really quickly. And sometimes with watercolors, especially ones that are you know, cakes, watercolor cakes, it can be hard to get that sharp color, bright color, intense color really quickly. Like you have to do layers and layers and layers to really build that up. So these are a great solution for that, and they're really quick and easy. So I'll get started. So here I'm just testing out the markers a little, doing basic, you know, color and showing how the sketch lines disperse with the water. They're not as good as, say, just using a liquid watercolor straight from the bottle, or even, you know, a cake of watercolor and diluting it down. But it definitely has its uses, and you can see the kind of sketchy, messy look that you can get, which actually can be very nice, especially for quick things, and we're trying to get a lot of colors down right away and so forth. So you'll see through this video how I play with that, and just a small painting that I put together to kind of test these ideas. I'll talk more about it as I go on. Some people have asked what this ruler is that I use, that I make my circles with. Well, it's exactly that, a circle ruler. It's a rather old tool and kind of hard to find. When looking on Amazon, someone has been trying to sell one for about $50, which is outrageous. But at the time, this was a kind of new tool that my art teacher was showing us, and it's lasted me this long. It has little ball bearings that keep the inside spinning from the outside, and it is one of the best tools I've gotten and still use to this day. I imagine there must be other versions of it available. Certainly not for $50. So here I was just filling in with water and then putting the markers on top. It did not work the best. I wouldn't suggest this because the markers tend to suck the liquid up into it, thus diluting the pen for a little while. It will come back, but I don't recommend it. And then on the outside rim, I did dry, putting the marker onto the dry and then adding the water on top, and I think it got a much better coverage and flowed much easier. Also, you'll see me using a liquid masking, which is used there to make the sort of branches, and then later on to make the design that's on the inside of the circle. When using the liquid masking, you'll want to apply it with a brush you don't care about very much, because sometimes it's very difficult to get that masking fluid out afterwards. Also, make sure it dries completely before you think of taking it up. It can rough up the surface of your paper, and it did in this picture a little bit. So be very careful when you're pulling it off here. Go slow and try not to be too forceful, but be prepared that it might not work out quite like you're hoping. It just gives an interesting effect here. That's a pearlescent gold that I've put over this design here in the middle to give you that design that you can see the colors beneath it. So to end this off, I'm showing you how I use some Crayola broad markers, which are the thick lined ones, to do some basic calligraphy saying do your best. On top of the pearlescent gold, it didn't quite go through, so you'll see me going back over it with another black pen, just filling in what I had already drawn, because the color seemed to show through that gold. But generally you wouldn't have to do that. This is just a quick demo, and if you're interested, I could make more in the future, so let me know. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It might encourage you to go get some pens, but don't spend too much money. If you're just wanting to play around, you can always invest in the more expensive things later. Again, just do your best and have fun with it.